Hey everybody, it's PartyElite. Welcome back to our Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play featuring Dwarf Druid, Beâr Thrylls. Last session was pretty intense as we got into a fight where we almost lost everybody, to be perfectly honest. Everybody was pretty badly bruised and beaten, but we just managed to come out on top. That was a very fun fight, and after it, we dealt with Lae'zel's corpse. We used a little bit of magic to revivify her, and she has since joined our camp, much to the dismay, I suppose, of Shadowheart, but she can deal. And some of you pointed out in the comments that I should perhaps have used one of these scrolls of revivification instead. You're absolutely right, but as you may have noticed, I do have a bit of a hoarding problem, especially when it comes to scrolls. It goes beyond that, actually, and to be clear, this is purely a digital hoarding problem, but I always tend to hold on to potions, to poisons, to oils, to scrolls. This has been a thing since I was a very, very young child playing CRPGs. Again, to clarify, it is a digital hoarding problem, but it is, yes, very much a problem. I need to start using scrolls more often, especially. That aside, though, it was pointed out to me that if we decide to investigate the mountain path, it doesn't immediately close off access to the Underdark. We are actually able to explore both and then make a choice between the two with regards to which one we want to use to chase after the Moonrise Towers, which is excellent to know because I was very curious about checking out this Githyanki Creche. Again, we came across an interesting artifact last session. It gave us a bit of a map, and then on conversing with Lae'zel, we learned about this Githyanki Creche that might have a solution for us and our affliction, but perhaps more importantly, it might have others who are also suffering from this affliction if they don't have a cure, which is my assumption. And if there are others there, then I think I would very much like to help them. I am a folk hero after all, right? So I have a few reasons to check out this Githyanki Creche. It's also right next to us right now. There's a bit of narrative momentum. I think it's a bit more in character for us to go chasing after the Creche before we double back and investigate the Underdark, but en route to it, of course, seek out the Night Song as well. Quite a bit to do. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get this party started once more. First things first, we must head to camp because I noticed none of our weapons are actually covered in toxins, so let's go ahead and sort that out right away. And while we're back at camp, actually, I will have a conversation with Gale as well, just to see if there's any progress to be had there. And some of you have pointed out that I don't actually love Gale enough. I don't speak to him often enough. I don't converse with him often enough, and so we might be falling behind actually with regards to his storyline. And you're absolutely correct. So I do need to have a conversation with him. Rather, I should say, more generally speaking, I should converse with him more often because who knows how far behind we are there. It does seem like we are caught up on the narrative progression that happens during long rests. We haven't seen a cutscene for a while now, you know, either the visitor in our dreams or Astarion turning out to be a vampire or what have you. So feels like we're caught up there, but yeah, there might be some companion conversations that we're behind on, especially with Lae'zel, for example, right? So I should probably investigate some of those. But first things first, let's go ahead and I always forget what the dip button looks like. Go ahead and dip you over there. Let's get Astarion coming through as well, if I can.
Someone there.
Get him moving. Yeah, let's go.
Step lightly.
If only they could move a little bit faster. Lesson learned, in the future, I'll just pop the toxins right in the middle. This pool has lasted for a very long time, a bit longer than I actually anticipated. So that's great, but it also means that we have to... Sorry, I meant to switch to my melee weapon, please. Can we... There we go, get you dipped as well. But yeah, it means I have to travel every time to coat these weapons in toxins,
Defender
which
of the people.
is fine, except for when I have to do it very often. I'm sure at least some of you feel the same way. Either way, folks, as always, if you've been enjoying this series, please don't hesitate to keep letting me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. It does make a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel, letting me know what I should do more or less of, how I should go about doing it. Again, I do read for feedback, for opinions, for thoughts, for suggestions, and for folks pointing out things that I may have missed or things that might not be so obvious, right? So feel free to drop those in the comments down below. I do, yes, read through all of them. All right. Everyone's all set up over here. Let's go ahead and speak to Gale, because again, in reading through the comments, it's been pointed out to me, and you're not wrong, I have been leaving Gale behind. So let's go ahead and have a conversation with Buddy here.
A Githyanki joining our company. Not a collaboration I'd have anticipated, but a welcome one nonetheless.
And it didn't even occur to me that people might have opinions on that, but here we are. I think I have a magical artifact you'll be interested in. Why would I offer him one without him needing one? I don't want to lose more magical artifacts than I need to, right? I was wondering, that condition of yours, why does it require magic? Okay. What do you make of having a vampire in our camp? That seems rather mean to Asterion. I don't care for this guy's opinion. Join me, why don't you? There's plenty of adventure to be had. No, that's to have him actually walk with us. I'm curious about option 1, but why would I offer him something and lose a magical artifact that I don't need to lose? So I'm going to leave that be for the time being. I mean, typically conversations, like important conversations, are telegraphed with the exclamation mark over people's heads, right? Which is why I haven't been following up with people, but perhaps I should.
Yankee are impressive. Cold as ice when they're not blazing hot. I wager Lae'zel's no exception.
Lae'zel. If nothing else, it'll help me learn how to pronounce her name, maybe. Having these conversations. Let's go and check out Asterion.
I am enjoying the latest addition to our little group. Lae'zel is delightful. In a very look at me twice and I'll dismember you kind of way, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised he's pleased, but... Oh. Tell me about your history. We already know quite a bit, but I have been quite intrigued by his, so let's dig a little deeper, perhaps?
Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again.
Okay, maybe I should stop picking at the scab. But next, let's have a conversation with Shadowheart, who I think will be pretty upset about, of course, the presence of Lae'zel. But worth the conversation.
Lae'zel has a dangerous look in her eyes. Let's just hope she reserves those impulses for any common foes.
So I read that as common folks. And I was like, whoa, that's a weird thing for her to say. I'm glad you said it, but... Now, okay. I'm extra curious about this artifact now. I think now is the time to broach this topic, because it was alluded to in the previous episode as something the Githyanki are looking for. Right, I would have to be an extreme fool to not make that connection. So I'm even more curious about this now, because as we go towards that creche, it might get brought up. Is there anything else here? No. All right, let's start with this. That artifact seems to be protecting us somehow. Do you still have it?
You could say that. And yes, I still have it.
Curious that you just happen to have an item that can protect us. How did you come by it, or why is it so important to you? I want to be polite about this. I know she's very protective and very secretive about this, so I want to be polite and careful here. Why is it so important to you?
Because it's important to my goddess. I was part of a group sent to claim the artifact in her name. And I'm the only survivor. I worship Shah, the mistress of the night. It's my mission to deliver the artifact to her secret cloister in Baldur's Gate. It hurts. Now that you have the truth, please don't make a big fuss about it.
What's with the pain there? I guess sworn to secrecy, and I guess she kind of broke that pact a little bit, and hence the pain. Either way, so it's a stolen artifact. We've established that. I'll decide whether to make a fuss or not. Hard to trust someone who's holding out on me. No. You could have told me how long were you going to keep this secret. I didn't agree to join up with a Shar worshipper, or I don't care who you worship, we have bigger problems. No, you could have told me. How long were you going to keep this secret? Forever is my assumption, and this might upset her, but hey, like... kind of an important thing to talk about, maybe?
Forever, ideally. And you assume too much about what I can and cannot tell. Secrecy is everything for Shah's children. It is our code, our creed, our shield. I even keep secrets from myself. I had my memories suppressed, so that nothing I know could be used against the Dark Lady. Once I prove myself, my memories will be restored. I'm not sorry I kept this from you. Not one bit. Though, perhaps that might change. If you can show an open mind.
Have I not already? I mean, come on. That's a little unfair. The thing I should address here, by the way. I'm not going to chase a romantic subplot for the sake of chasing a romantic subplot. I've mentioned this before, but just to clarify, I'm not just going to make the right conversation options to make sure that, you know, there's a romantic thing going on as well. I'm going to make very realistic conversation choices, and if it so turns out that, you know, we're not compatible with any of our companions because of a strong difference of opinion on something or whatever, then so be it. Figured I should make very clear that the decisions I'm making in conversation with Shadowheart aren't being cherry-picked with the intention of maintaining our good relationship. It's with the intent of maintaining a realistic relationship. Again, I like to role play, and this is part of that. It's something I've always liked to do. I never like chase specific, you know, romantic partners or whatever in games like this. But if things happen and play out that way, then cool. I just thought I'd reiterate that because it's been a while since we've talked about that. Anyway, let's see how open-minded I can be then. Tell me more.
All right. As I said, Shah is my patron, my mistress, goddess of darkness and loss. I assume you've heard of her?
Yes. Honestly, your faith is your own concern. I won't judge one way or the other. She doesn't sound very appealing, going by her titles. I've heard Shar worship is vilified by many, forbidden outright in parts. No, look, your faith is your own concern. I won't judge one way or the other.
Curious. Most are afraid of my lady. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company.
Yeah. Wish you'd been a bit more transparent a bit sooner. We can turn to other matters. But, yes, why were you in pain before? I was like, I don't think there's much I want to talk to her about except for this exact topic. Why were you in pain before?
The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from Lady Shah. I can feel her influence somehow.
Okay. So you knew more than you were letting on before. I hope you'll be more honest in the future. No. I don't see how that's relevant to what you just said. Why would Shar subject you to such a thing? What causes it to hurt you? How can you manage living with such a thing? Or is there anything I can do to help with it? So I have my assumptions about what causes it to hurt, right? And I think those assumptions apply in character as well. So I think the first thing I would ask is if there's anything I could do to help with it.
I don't think so, but you're sweet to ask. Maybe just be patient the next time you see me wince or cry out. It'll pass quickly enough. It always does. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. You can tolerate a great deal of suffering so long as it has meaning.
Very well. I mean, asking why Shar would subject her to such a thing seems rude after what is basically an explanation. But I am curious what causes it to hurt, since I can ask another question.
It's difficult to say. Sometimes I wonder if it's supposed to be guiding me, punishing me, testing me. But perhaps it's none of those. Perhaps it's completely random. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah will reveal to me when the time is right. Until then, all I can do is endure.
All right. Fair enough. We can leave it be. I think that's all I need to know there. That's all I need to know there. And let me go ahead and actually turn my attention now to Lae'zel, because if we're headed towards the Githyanki Creche, she might have some insight that we should have beforehand. I don't think, without changing party members, I don't think I can give her back her clothes or anything, so she might just kind of be in this current state until I decide to bring her into my party. I don't think I will have her join me in the Githyanki Creche. I mean, there might be some value to... I mean, I think there'll be some obvious value to having her there, right? In terms of like, oh, it's one of ours and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know... I don't know if I'm going to prioritize that. Because what if she's vilified? What if she's hated? What if there are issues there? The first we'll go in ourselves with our usual crew, and if there are things, if there are closed doors that we feel that Lae'zel can metaphorically open, then we'll explore that option, and maybe we'll leave, you know, Shadowheart behind or something. and have to learn the combat capabilities of a whole new character. But as she strikes a combat pose, let's go ahead and have a conversation with her and see if she has any additional insight to give us.
I tire of this Faerun, its temperate skies, its soft people. Would that I were doing battle among the tears.
What do you mean by the tears? Actually curious.
Look above. Watch the moon cross the sky. The tears follow behind it. Rocky bodies tumbling through the sea of night. One of them is my crash. Clear.
I actually don't know much about the Githyanki, so this will be interesting. Are all Githyanki from the tears?
Your curiosity is to be commended. Githyanki are hatched in creches all throughout realm space. Clear is one of many. It's there I first saw a Kithrak mount a red dragon. Where I slit my cousins' throats at the Varsh's command. The tears span Toral's sky Venisk. There is more to this realm than this grassy pebble.
Lots of edgelord vibes over here, to be perfectly honest. Fair enough. About the dragon rider we met. Now, we didn't really meet him. This is where things get a little funky with this game. We saw that dragon rider. I wouldn't say we met him, but I guess that's what we're going for here. I'm curious.
Your skull trembles, your parasite wriggles. Lae'zel sees your memories of your confrontation with Kithrak Voss.
Voss? Still Kithrak, Knight Supreme. An honorable warrior, Vlakith's finest. He'd have led us right to the crash. Instead, he watches from the skies like a falcon, and we are his prey. Skvar, an unexpected complication. I am vexed. And more so, impressed. A lesser man would be adorning the road as a shredded corpse. Yet your head remains firmly atop your shoulders.
I didn't actually fight him, though, or anything. I'm a little confused about how we were supposed to have interacted with that person, and I'm assuming that's the dragon rider we're talking about here. And again, following up on my previous point, this is where things get a little funky with this game, where it's just like, much like the quest ledger, where a lot of things were added to it that didn't actually ever happen. It feels like the game is assuming, oh, you know, because Lae'zel is here, it means you've done such and such things, and here's the conversation. Now, it's possible I'm forgetting something that happened, very possible, but all I remember is the dragon attacked a bunch of mercenaries, right? In that one cutscene a couple episodes ago, we saw the dragon land. We decided to go elsewhere first. Dealt with, you know, an entire different quest line, and then came back. Lae'zel was dead. The dragon was up in the air. We had that massive fight last session. So what's so impressive about us? I mean, basically cowering from the dragon, right? I don't follow. So if anyone wants to illuminate the situation for me, please feel free to do so in the comments. But aren't you upset that I killed your fellow Gith? I don't care for being called impressive. It's nice, but I'm more confused about her lack of care for her fellow Gith.
Why should I mourn a Sarth who failed to steal Kithrak's orders? I do not honor mediocrity. Now, to the point. The creche is not far from where you met Voss. We must go there immediately. Unless, of course, you'd rather sprout waxy tendrils where there were no tendrils before.
And if Kithrak Voss finds us before then?
Keep me at your side, and I will invoke protocol. It is my people's duty to aid infected Githyanki.
That's an interesting specification. Specifically, infected Githyanki? Do you know much about Mind Flayers? It sounds like something maybe they engage with more often than not. And also now I think we've been given a good reason to actually take Lae'zel with us. If there is in fact what's it called? A sort of right to hospitality that she has access to, then it might be worthwhile. Anybody who plays GURPS or is familiar with GURPS on tabletop will be familiar with my reference there of a specific character advantage. Obviously, this isn't a GURPS-based game, but that's what I'm kind of using as a reference. Do you know much about Mind Flayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
Really hope she stops being this rude. Well, do you know what happens if we don't find a cure? I assume she does, but...
Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a Mind Flayer is born.
Her performance capture is really cool. Like, it's funny going from Shadowheart, who is rather stiff, again, in character. I'm not criticizing the actor or anything. I think they've all done a brilliant job, obviously. But it's really cool to see just how different they are in how expressive they are and stuff. I would not expect Lae'zel's character to be so expressive, and yet here we are. And now that we have someone so expressive that we're speaking to, it's kind of cool seeing how, like, I don't know, just seeing how detailed it is, I guess. Anyway, sorry. Try to suppress your rising panic. That's not going to happen. We will find a cure. No, actually, you know what? I'm curious why she's so calm about it. Yeah, that sounds awful. How are you so calm?
Because I do not intend to let this happen. Not to me, and if you stick with me, not to you. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me.
Yeah, things are a little different. You're worried we haven't changed? This is good news.
Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass.
I like that line. Anomalies lead to surprises. All right. I think I would like her to join me then. Question is, who do I leave behind? Astarion's too good, too powerful. I wouldn't do that. Will, with his recent upgrades, his newfound strength, is also very good. Shadowheart's the one who I'm thinking of replacing. I don't think I would want to have... You know what? Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I realize Shadowheart's the one to leave behind if we're going after this Githyanki creche, for a multitude of reasons. The least of which is the fact that Shadowheart and Lae'zel don't get along. So if I ask her to join me, I assume I have to... She's going to say no. I assume I have to tell Shadowheart to stay behind first.
You've no room. Dismiss your weakest warrior.
I wish she didn't say it like that, but I'm going to go talk to Shadowheart. Tell her best for her to stay behind and fiddle with her... that's the other reason to keep Shadowheart behind, because she's got the artifact that the Gith want, right? So let's have Shadowheart stay behind, take Lae'zel with us.
I've been catching myself smiling more lately. I think that's your fault.
This timing, man. This timing. Like, hey, thanks for making things better. Yeah, about that. We should journey separately for now. I'll look for you here if I need you again. That's so... in the interest of roleplay. You and I, we share something special, I think. I want to talk about it, or no? I want to get to know you more, Shadowheart.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask?
Why is she taking such offense to that question? I want to... Fine. Forget about it. We should journey separately for now. I'll look for you here if I need you again.
If you're sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Fine. I'll be here whenever you rediscover your taste in company.
Man! No chill. Alright. Oh! Well, that's interesting. Hand it to me? I don't want to be carrying it. It's gonna come up at the creche, isn't it? going to come up. At least it's in my hands and not Shadowheart's, I guess. I don't know if that's for the better or not. Oh, and who's carrying all the Githyanki armor? I've only got the map, eh? Who's got the armor? I wish you could search inventory across the board. It's with Shadowheart, isn't it? Or is Will carrying it?
Blade at the ready.
Inventory. Yeah, longsword, greatsword, half-blade. Okay, cool. As long as it's with us. Yep, cool. Alright.
Can't give up now.
To Beâr, over to Lae'zel.
Speak.
Bro, be politer than that. I'm gonna have to get used to it. I'd like you to join me.
It is done.
Alright. Oh god, we have a lot of leveling up to do, don't we? Oh, that's gonna be a pain. Alright. Will, where you at? Githyanki Greatsword. I think that makes sense to pop on there. We should get the Githyanki half plate on there as well. What else have we got? Yankee longsword. Well, let's pop that in her inventory at least, because we have no reason to be carrying it. Otherwise, she's not going to use a shield or anything, because that's a two-handed weapon. Sparkle hands on hit with an unarmed attack. That's never going to happen. Do we have any other? Let's see. Bracers of defense. Become the bulwark. You gain +2 bonus to armor class as long as you're not wearing armor or holding a shield. Well, you're wearing armor. We've got Fleet Fingers, running jump once per turn after the wearer dashes or takes a similar action. They can jump without using a bonus action. Good for closing the gap, I guess. Underdog's Bravery is with Will right now. Sparkle Hands we looked at. Reason's Grasp, ever vigilant. When the wearer chooses to end their rage, they gain 15 temporary hit points, okay? And Metallic Gloves for help on strength saving throws. Let's put on Reason's Grasp. That feels most fitting. Boots. We got Grove Tender's Boots. Might as well put something on. And then here we have... Put a torch on you? Yeah, sure. Helmets. And con saving throw. As opposed to the haste helm. Gives us momentum. Allows us to move a little bit faster, right? Yeah, sure. That's fine. No items there. What necklaces do we have? Elemental Torment, Nature's Vengeance. When we stand in certain surfaces, that's for casting spells. Absolute's Talisman. Nope. Amulet of Saloon's Chosen. Gives us Saloon's Dream. Tarnished Charm, Fey Life. Make it easier for the wearer to succeed at death saving throws. That'd be a terrible idea, actually. Chimera's Locket gives us Dancing Lights. And the Ever-Seeing Eye gives us protection from evil and good. Let's go with the Tarnished Charm. Seems like the kind of thing that you wear. Any rings of value? Don't think so. Okay. Musical instrument, just assemble our band. AC of 16 is not bad. She should do all right on that front, but I think we gotta level her up. This is, I'm gonna try and be quick about it, but we certainly can't leave her at level 1 as we enter what is probably a pretty, you know, further along section of the game. So this first step is easy enough. We get Action Surge, of course. Immediately get an extra action to use this turn. Health increase as well. Okay, excellent. Now how about level 3? What options do we have here? Choose Specialization, Health Increase, Subclass Features, and gained 3 passives. Right. Race. Oh, okay. We've got Githyanki Psionics. Of course we do. We can jump now. Triple a creature's jumping distance. Lasts for 10 turns and refreshes on a long rest. Cool. Subclass. Battlemaster, Eldritch Knight, or Champion. Battlemasters are paragons of tactical superiority, combining combat maneuvers and experience in the field to dominate every fight. Okay. This gives us superiority dice 4. Your superiority dice are d8s. You have 4. At fighter level 10, these dice become d10s. They fuel your Battlemaster maneuvers and are expended upon use. You regain expended superiority dice after a short or long rest. Okay, but what does maneuver mean here? Is that maneuvering attack? Ah, no, I can pick 3 maneuvers. Okay, hang on. Gotcha. Eldritch Knight, what does this do? Gives me access to cantrips and spells and spell slots, as well as the weapon bond action. Interesting. Eldritch Knights study magic to supplement their weaponry, allowing them to overcome resistance from the toughest foes. What kind of cantrips are we talking here? Bone Chill, Poison Spray, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion. Nothing crazy. Ray of Frost. Spells? Chromatic Orb, Burning Hands. Burning Hands isn't too shabby. Shield, Thunder Wave, Witch Bolt. Yeah, this doesn't feel right for Lae'zel, to be perfectly honest. This doesn't feel right. What about Champion? You approach the complex problems posed by combat with one distinctly effective solution. You hit those problems really quite hard. Gives us improved critical hit. The number you need to roll a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. This effect can stack. Alright, let's take a look at Battle Master really quickly to see what these passives are. Commander Strike. Direct an ally to strike a foe. The ally uses a reaction on their next turn to make a weapon attack. Okay, Disarming Attack. Spend a superiority dice to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly forces the target to drop the weapons they are holding. That's not bad. A Distracting Strike. Distract your target, giving your allies advantage on their next attack roll against the target. Evasive Footwork. You can evade attacks by imposing disadvantage on melee attacks against you for a round. Feinting Attack. You can use both your action and bonus action on a turn to attack a target with advantage and deal an additional 1d8 damage. Ooh. Goading Attack. Deal an additional 1d8 and damage, I assume, and attempt to goad the target into attacking you. Target receives disadvantage on attacking any other creature. Maneuvering Attack. Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage. On hit, select which friendly creature will gain half its movement speed. It will not provoke attacks of opportunity. Oh, good for helping someone out of a sort of tough spot. Menacing Attack. Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly frightens the target. Precision Attack. You can spend a superiority die to add it to the result to an attack roll. Okay. Pushing Attack. Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly pushes the target back 1.5 or 4.5 meters, sorry. Rally. Expends a superiority die to grant an ally 8 temporary hit points, bolstering their resolve. Riposte. When a hostile creature misses you with a melee attack, expend a superiority die to retaliate with a powerful strike that deals an additional 1d8 damage. Sweeping Attack. Swing your weapon in a rapid sweeping arc to attack multiple enemies at once. Roll your superiority die for damage. Then Trip Attack. Spend a superiority die to make an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage and possibly knocks the target prone. The target must be larger or smaller. Well, this is interesting. I think these maneuvers are quite cool. Battle Master kind of makes sense. Champion doesn't quite sound right for Lae'zel. I don't actually, you know what, I say that, but she seems very much like a hit those problems quite hard kind of gal, you know? Like, I think about the more tactical stuff, and she doesn't seem like a very tactical person. She seems like a let me hit that thing with my sword kind of person. Yeah, that seems right, actually. So while the title Champion might not feel the most fitting, the descriptor and the subclass feature of improved critical hits, I think, is a bit more on point. Y'all let me know if you feel differently. Maybe I'm making a mistake here, but this feels right to me. That feels right. On to level 4. Another health increase and a new feat available too. Ah, okay. Why's it gotta be so tough? Hit points increase by 2 for every level you've gained. That's actually not bad. Weapon Master. You gain proficiency with 4 weapons of your choice. And your strength or dexterity increased by 1 to a maximum of 20. Oh man, this is one of those that takes a lot of time to mull over. We're level 4 right now. How much HP we have? 36. You know what? That's probably enough for now. Oh no, we're at 28. We'd go up to 36. I'm done leveling up for the time being.
No time to rest.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. And if she's not, we'll level her up on a reload. I'll level her up between sessions because I think we spent enough time on the level up screen. But we're gonna have the entire session spent in our camp if I don't get a move on. So let's go ahead and dip that weapon in here. Make sure she's actually proficient with it. Actually, I realized. Check my inventory. Where is her weapon? Yes, we are proficient. Good stuff. It is versatile, so I could give her a shield actually if I wanted to. But I think we're fine. 7 to 20 damage. Wild. Yeah, alright, let's go ahead and leave camp. Get a move on, and yeah, we'll continue leveling her up afterwards. I hope y'all don't mind. But I spent enough time in menus. I wanna go back to adventuring. 28 HP is okay. Hopefully. Hopefully. Alright. The mountain pass we go, I suppose. You're about to progress your adventure. Make sure to tie up any loose ends before advancing. Well, now I'm confused. Right? Then, because that concerns me, I'm going to actually go ahead to the Goblin camp and deal with the Night Song first. Because, again, while previously it made sense for us to stick with going to the creche first because of where we were, etc., etc., if it'll cut things off and we can't actually double back, then that's a problem, obviously. Let me know if I've misunderstood that. Feel free to let me know in the comments.
Only if my people extract them. The only other cure is the blade.
Okay. Wonderful.
I think she has a lot of false hope in her people and their ability to help with the situation. Alright. I wonder if I should actually switch back to Shadowheart. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, folks. I apologize. That was a very sudden and unexpected change in circumstances. Wizards of Waterdeep. What's this about? Gale's condition has deteriorated once more. Okay, he needs a third magical item. Alright, fair enough. We'll do that, but first, we're camping in a new spot here, so I have to find everybody. This is interesting. I didn't actually realize this was a thing. Hazel, where are you? Why don't I... Oh, there she is. She was tucked away over here. Alright. We'll leave her behind. Makes sense, I think.
Speak.
Take Shadowheart with us. Wait for me in camp.
Shook. You believe you can survive without me?
I've done it for a very long time. I'm not arguing. Remain here.
As you say, do not keep me waiting.
I'm extremely confused. Maybe I'm misremembering the comment that said that I'd be safe to go to the mountain pass and then double back.
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something?
Yes, I want you to join
All
me.
right. Some company wouldn't hurt on the road, especially if there's trouble.
Alright. Camp. Where did she get all that XP from all of a sudden? Oh, right, I was supposed to talk to Gale. He can wait until we go back to pick Shadowheart back up. Ah, he can't. His condition is deteriorating. He's suffering. I should help him. I'm a hero. I'm a good person. Gale, where you at, buddy? Sure, I've got something magical to give you.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon.
It's almost like he could hear me almost ignore him, you know? Yeah. Here. Give Gale a magic artifact. It's interesting that we could fail a check to convince him to give me some time. But sure, let's give him that artifact. Honestly, Chimera's Locket, probably. I'm probably never going to use that. I don't need dancing lights for anybody. So sure, Chimera's Locket. Donate. That ought to be enough, right?
Thank you. Good gods. I don't know what to make of this. 3 artifacts is a positive glut of magic. Yet my hunger only grows. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent.
Oh, hello. Okay. Go on. You're among friends.
I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover.
Are you telling me you made love to a goddess? Bold, few would dare to reduce a goddess to their muse. Or, I don't believe a word of what you're saying. No, yeah, the first one. You tell me you made love to a goddess?
Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross, yet every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries.
How exactly did you try to cross those boundaries?
I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale?
Oh, I want the details. I'm intrigued. Tell me all.
Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. His entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess?
Oh, I guess you ruled out flowers and chocolates altogether. So your grand plan was akin to emptying a cup of water in the sea. Brilliant. No. What was the answer to that question?
The answer was to try. And the outcome was to fail. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in. Into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, then suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
How are you still alive?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however.
Go on.
I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep.
Is there nothing we can do?
We might chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around the corner. We might cross paths with a miracle round the bend. Then again, we might not. All of this, it must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
I mean, it does feel a little bit like a betrayal. He could pop at any moment and then we'd all die. But no, we've maybe a bit of sunk cost fallacy over here, but we've already invested in this. We're heroes. Heroes don't abandon friends. No, we've come this far together and we'll continue on together. That is how it will be.
That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
At the end there, it sounded like he was addressing an audience, like he raised his voice and everything, but no one else was here. It felt like it was supposed to be the revelation of Astarion being a vampire, where everybody kind of joined at the end of the conversation, but here no one really cared. Anyway, back on task. Let's head out of camp, and let's go face what it was that we previously cowered away from, because we should be strong enough now to take care of it. Some of you will remember exactly what I'm talking about, some of you will not, but if I go through this door over here, and then another, and then I think maybe another, we'll come across exactly what I'm referencing. We do have, if I recall correctly, with Shadowheart, she's carrying a water barrel. Who is carrying? Was it Astarion? Yeah, he's carrying a smoke powder barrel. Let's get that over to you. Get the water barrel over to Astarion. And let's try and manage the encumbrance here a little bit. Why are we like this? Why are we carrying too much? This long sword we can send to camp. Bedroll. It's nice to carry the bedroll. It feels right, you know? What else have we got? This Githyanki crossbow, which I can't actually use because I don't have proficiency with heavy crossbows. So I could, suppose, send that to camp for the time being. It's fairly heavy. I'll just forget that it exists is the problem. Send that to camp, sure. Otherwise, I think we're okay. I keep forgetting about the ogres that we have access to as well, by the way, with Lump's Warhorn. I should probably consider using that at some point. And let's go ahead and mark this as wares and send it to camp. Alright, cool. I think that's all good. Yep, everyone's got their weapons coated in toxins. We are good to move along. Get everyone sneaking. And in we go to the priestess's quarters entrance.
Never wanted the easy path.
There is. Yep. Olma. 75 HP, bodyguard of the High Priestess. Pull back, get out of there. Oh, don't. Okay, we've been spotted, but she's not immediately aggressive. Oh, we can speak to Polma. Okay. Let's not be foolish about it, though, of course. Let's go ahead and ungroup everybody.
Ready.
Astarion. Let's get you up top, just in case. I wonder if this thing can be... Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Okay. Interesting. Something to consider. Let's get Will...
The pride of the gate.
Spotted. Oh no, you succeeded. And then immediately you were spotted. That's fine. Will, where do I move you? Let's get you up there.
Can't
Shadowheart.
afford any mistakes.
Get you up there as well.
Let's get
Beâr,
going.
I want to try and have this conversation when Polma is underneath this thing.
Need to find a way
Because that feels
forward.
like an opportunity, right? So,
You've wandered into
Oh.
a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave.
and try to convince them you belong here. So sorry, I thought this was the way to the latrines. I'll be off then. Or I could just pay money. Nope, I thought this was the way to the latrines. I'll be off then. Alright, okay. Lesson learned. Let's stay over here. We'll enter turn-based mode in a moment. Like that. Because I believe that marks exactly where this is. So Astarion should be able to drop this. Shadowheart might be able to toss the barrel. I'm trying to figure out if I need it. 75 HP isn't that much, really. So maybe I'm okay. Now, what do I get from dropping this, actually, though? Is there any benefit? I don't know. But I can definitely drop it. Yeah, sure. Why not? What's life without risks, right? This is the only way through. A little bit of experimentation never hurt anybody. Let's go.
You sought a fight, and now you have one.
Damn right. Alright. Astarion gets to go first. He does have access to an action still, and his bonus actions as well. And of course, everybody else can join in too. We've got a bit of fire in there, and you know what? That actually did a lot of damage. Down to 59 HP. That was a lot of damage. In fact, do we have 7 bludgeoning, 1 fire? Not burning or anything, but... oh, wait, no. 8 bludgeoning from being crushed. 1 fire damage, and an additional 7 bludgeoning. I'm not sure from where, but I'll take it. Yo, that was great. That was... you know what? I'm glad that worked out. I'm glad I looked. I'm glad I did that. All right, Astarion, let's go ahead and sneak attack. Somebody else has to move into melee range if we want to do it without actually... popping cutting action hide. Am I close enough to offhand? No, I'm... Oh, I am actually. Why is it... It's red because of the fire, of course. Don't mind a little bit of burning. Okay, in that case, let's enter somebody into melee. Shadowheart, I think, would be the one
always sharp.
that makes the most sense. Move you in, get a inflict wounds in there. 65% chance to hit. Good damage output. 1 to 10, 3 to 30. Deals an additional 1 to 10 per level. 5 to 50. I'm not going to use a level 3 slot for this. Let's use a level 2 slot, perhaps. Sure. Go in there. That's what? 4 to 40 damage? That's a lot. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, damn you.
Miss? You're going to miss? Come on. It's okay, though. We should be in melee now. Or maybe not. Okay. Will, let's get you in there. Everyone's been dragged in now. Alright, fair enough. It was worth a shot. Cutting action hide.
Let's have a little fun.
Oh. That did not work out. That did not work out. Okay, let's pull down to here. Ignore our high ground, but at least we can sneak over here. Should be able to. Cutting action hide.
Just like old times.
What the hell? Immediately lost condition hiding, but we're outside of our cone of vision. That really sucks, man. That really sucks. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I guess I could go with the arrow of ice. Deals a decent bit of damage. Might get rid of the fire. Allows us to close the gap and stuff. Or just going with some acid. Sure, let's go with some acid. Good stuff. That's a lot of damage. Alright, let's see what Polma gets up to. That's a real bummer. I thought Shadowheart would have gone in... Like, it looked like her silhouette was closing the gap completely to cast the spell. Would have been in melee range. We would have been able to sneak attack from up top. But, no, of course not. That's okay. Let's pull Astarion back a little.
Here.
And come up top and fire from up there afterwards. End the turn. Not too bad. Not too bad, actually. Alright, Shadowheart, you're up. Unfortunately, we don't have an action. We could shove, I suppose. Too heavy to shove. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. A Shield of Faith uses up a spell slot. We don't need to. Shadowheart, your turn is kind of already done.
back.
Will, We do have our Eldritch Blast, 4 to 13 damage. Or Vampiric Touch, not necessary, I don't think. And I don't think I need the Scorching Ray. I don't think we need to use a level 3 Warlock spell slot over here. Eldritch Blast is a cantrip, so 65% chance to hit. That should do the trick. Let's go. Nice. Relatively easy over here. I forget if I bound his weapon or not. I don't think I did between like after the latest long rest. Over here, how much HP have we got to deal with? 7? That's not a lot. Thunderwave should do the job. Pop it like that. Might toss her back. Thunderwave is going to use a spell slot though. So what about Thorn Whip? 2 to 12 damage? That might just do the trick. Sure. Let's hope for the best. Nice. Man, that would have been such a tough battle. Like, when we first came across her. Bit of a shame that I had to end this way, but I couldn't have persuaded... I mean, I guess I could have tried to persuade her to let me through, but we killed everybody else in this camp, so I didn't really have much pity left for Polma over here. What are you carrying, Polma? What do you have for me? Supply pack. Let's go ahead and set that to camp. What else have we got down here? Scroll of Melf's Acid Arrow.
Can't slow down.
Go ahead and add it to our pouch. And in fact, if I take a look at my inventory, if I'm not mistaken, I do have other scrolls as well. Are these? No, these are all of them. There's some that aren't in my pouch though. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've got this additional Melf's Acid Arrow. We got a scroll of Web. I think that's all of them. Yeah, cool. Gotta start using those. Scroll of Burning Hands. Maybe I should like give that to someone who's actually going to be in melee, and that way they can actually use it. Sure, pick it up and then transfer it over to... That's curious. Perception successful. This pouch. What do you got? Gold ring. Add to wares. Gold itself. Grab that. Basic poison. Sure. So we got... Well, first of all, where's that latest scroll we just picked up? Burning Hands. Let's give it to Will. Because Will is the fastest to lose access to his casting, I guess. We can pop that over to you. And in fact, you know what? I've got a couple of those, right? Let's give Will a few of these. And let's give Shadowheart a few more. Because again, Burning Hands has to be cast in melee range. So may as well, because Beâr rarely ends up in melee range. Well, that's not true. He doesn't rarely end up in melee range, but when he does, it's usually to finish a job off, really. But this is all good. Okay, cool. It's on. Padlock key. Don't mind if I do. Gilded chest. Well, animal carcass, canopy bed. Let's grab that key first. Okay. Basic poison. And a recipe of Elixir of Arcane Cultivation. The mildew, blah 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 blah. Vitriol of Weave Moss, supplement of Belladonna. Last paragraph has been encircled thrice, once in blood. When in doubt with alchemy, just recall the rule of 3. We've read this before, I think. But I wanted to unlock this recipe. Elixir of Arcane Cultivation. I really need to use my alchemy more. Small bottle filled to the brim with arcane energy. Uncommon potion. Okay, but what does it actually do? Like Elixir of Resistance Fire, I know what that is. But what does this one do? Let's not get too distracted by that right now. What's in this wardrobe? A couple bones, a skull. You know, I wouldn't mind grabbing some bones. Let's see if we can play with a bone with Scratch. Let's check out this gilded chest. With an amulet of Misty Step. Ooh. Misty Step. I think that would be best applied. Oh, and so Astarion will be able to get in and out of situation, right? Shadowheart would be able to dive into melee a lot more easily. Let's give that to Astarion, I think. I don't know if it matches his look, but he can deal. Where's my Misty Step? Where'd you go? I think that might just be worth it. Because then he can get to the high ground a lot more easily, for example, right? And other such benefits. Get out of melee, get into high ground. There's a couple different things he could use that for. Alright, good stuff.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
So I guess we go down this way now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. That'll be interesting to explore next time. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. And just quickly, I'm going to make note that I will investigate on my own as well if I can go to the mountain pass and then double back and check this out, or vice versa, you know, whatever it might be. I apologize if, you know, I'm misremembering a very obvious and clear comment, but I'll look into that, and I'll keep, you know, things moving forward next session one way or the other. Apart from that as well, of course, I'll take a look at my options for leveling our Githyanki friend up. We'll do that right at the beginning of the next episode. Spent a bit of time on that already, and then that was only to just set her aside as we course corrected because of the rather scary looking pop-up that said everything else would be locked if we went that way. So maybe I've misunderstood, maybe I've understood it just right, but either way, we're chasing after the artifact whose name I keep forgetting, the Night Song. Once we do that, we'll figure out what to do between the Mountain Pass, the Underdark, or again, perhaps both, if I'm understanding correctly. Not the game's UI, obviously, but you guys in the comments. I'll look it up as well and try to avoid spoilers. That's why I prefer reading it in the comments, because who knows what I'll mistakenly spoil for myself if I go digging. But that pop-up was definitely a little concerning. Anyway, folks, as I said, this is where we're calling it a session. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time. Cheers.